Hey everybody, this is Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. I am here with Rapper Tron. First and foremost, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
I'm well, man. Can't complain, can't complain. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now, man.
Man, so I got my new single that just came out, Arson. It's a follow up after my first single, Captions, that came out last year. It was the one that went viral with the dance challenges and everything. It had dance challenges going like all around the world. So this is my new single. I just released it this past like Friday or something like that. I don't really know, but I just came out and I got the lyric video up. I got a music video coming out in the next couple of weeks for it. So it's gonna be super dope.
So what inspired Arson, man? Tell me a little bit about it. Like I heard the lyrics. What inspired it?
Man, bro, it's really like a combination of like, it's a combination of like being lit. Cause okay, my engineer actually is the one who came up with the name Arson too. Cause like we'd be writing together and stuff. And I was like, all right, what's arson mean exactly? He was like, well, someone lighting fires, you know what I'm saying? Being lit, that whole thing. So I was like, okay, bet we could play off that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we already had the beat from my boy Shadow and Rope God. Shout out to them. And so then I was like, all right, bet. So let's make a song about lighting fires. But see, I wanted to have a cross element of you could be lighting the fires and you can be the fire. But because you're such a light and you're shining, you have a lot of attention on you. You have to be wary of your surroundings. So I was like, that's why I said all the cabinet talk never understand. They getting mad, they see us win and that kind of stuff. I was like, that's pretty much what the world shows their true colors when they see you lighting fires, when they see you doing you. It's like a natural, you know what I'm saying? People just naturally most times go into that other direction of like, oh, okay, now I got to be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's about like being lit, lighting fires, and doing that whole thing, but it's also about keeping like a close circle and really staying true to yourself, kind of thing. You feel? Like exactly. That was like the whole inspiration with the lyrics and whatnot too.
Okay. So I know your mom is very supportive as well as your dad. Like, what does it mean to you that you have supportive parents?
Oh man, I mean, I think that anyone in any kind of position, or just, I feel like if you come from any kind of thing, your family could be lawyers and they want you to be a lawyer, dentists, they want you to be a dentist. It's like, it's up to you to really make that decision. And, I was never going to live a life that I wasn't going to be happy for. Like, I know a lot of like kids grow up because they feel like they need to do what their parents do and stuff like that. I naturally fell in love with the music after I taught myself how to play drums when I was 8. So I was like, oh, okay, awesome. And then of course I'm like, that's not really in my mind as I'm like learning music and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just learning music for myself. So like that made it a lot easier to really become an artist because I'm not chasing other identities or trying to live up to anything. I'm really just going on my own journey. You know what I'm saying? And so so having the support of just, what their thing was just do whatever you want to do as long as you're good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly. You could be a bowler. You know what I mean? I could be the biggest bowling champion ever. It's really that kind of thing. So, when it became that, and when I understood that was like, I had that option and it didn't have to be a musical. It didn't have to that. It made me get way more into music because I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because now I could just get into this because I really just want to get into it and not have to just hear, oh my God, of course you're getting, you know what I mean? So yeah, the support system is definitely important.
What were the key factors that your parents were talking about would influence you to get into music?
Let's see. I mean, really it's like, they, especially my mom, because, my mom's more the one who's really like moving around and doing more of the stuff. So it's like, her whole thing was, if I do get into the industry, to just, to be more than prepared and to, you know what I'm saying? Like really be like super prepared before I get into it, do everything I need to do. And so that alone really encouraged me to go to music college and really, you know what I'm saying? Find myself there, do, because that's when I was really like, all right, I'm gonna really be serious about this. If I'm not a drummer in a band, because I got into Berkeley, which is in Boston, but I didn't end up going because I didn't think I was gonna have enough versatility to be a drummer and a producer and an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say it's not a stellar school, because I mean, one of my favorite progressive rock bands, Dream Theater, they come out of Berkeley. So, and one of my favorite drummers come out of that band. So, it was a big thing for me to go there, all the way up until I was like 17, about to graduate, and I realized that I wanted to do more stuff outside of drumming and just to see if I could do anything else. And so, of course, when that came, that's when all the, okay, so, since you're coming to this industry, you should probably know some things, you know what I'm saying? And so, and it's not like I didn't know what media was. I didn't know what all that kind of stuff was. It was just more about the tough skin needs to be there before anything. You know, you can have all the creativity in the world, but if you're not built for this stuff, then you're just not built for it. You know what I'm saying? And then the industry can break a lot of people. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I've been in it for what, like 3 years now since I've been in it all my life technically, but personally I've been in, you know what I'm saying? Personally, I've been in where I see the business. I see the bad business. I see the good business. I see the relationships fall. Oh my goodness. I could go on and on about that kind of stuff, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Cause you know, you work with people and then it's like this. And it's like, I always say it's all fun when we're being creative. You know what I'm saying? It's always fun when you're being creative. And then, you know, then when everything has to really happen, you go in the process, and then that's when all the conflict and all like the real stuff starts to begin. And so, you know, the biggest thing that I was really told was just, you know, from Dad, it was like the industry will welcome you with daggers, and the daggers might turn into roses depending on what you do. And so obviously that means that, of course, you're going to be opened up with gunshots and stuff. You're looked at as someone who has a gateway. So with that being said, there's a lot more to prove. You know, I'm not looking at it from I just want to it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a clout scheme. You know, I was making music since I was 10 years old. And I just knew I was perfecting my craft for the day I release whatever it is, whether it be actually me being the artist or me being the writer and the composer and stuff, and just doing all the behind the scenes. I was prepared for either one. So, you know, so as I was able to get more into that and just more into like myself, I mean, I'm telling you, man. But again, with that daggers and roses comment, it's like, you know, I knew that I had to speak a lot more. I had to speak myself. People had to get to know me, because there's a lot of stipulations about these Hollywood kids and stuff and whatever. And I mean, me growing up in Stone Mountain, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of different perspective than maybe someone even who was living in LA the whole time. I was back and forth. So it's like, even, and it's like, and I went to private Christian school. So it's like, to a certain degree, I definitely had a real world, because, you know, you could put labels Christian, private, but people are people. You know what I'm saying? People are people, and you're going to get that real dose of people. And that's what I got throughout my whole school like life. And in school was not bad for me. It was only really like difficult when it really just came to just being focusing on topics, because I was just so interested in other stuff. But like, you know, other than that, man, like having this like realistic approach definitely gave me the confidence to be an artist and be like, all right, bet. But I know it comes with the territory, because I'm looked at as the kid or whatever. So I got to make sure my shit popping, bro. I got to make sure. I got to make sure me as an artist, I hold myself accountable. I hold myself humbly, you know, because I'm blessed to be in the position that I'm in. I should use my platform to better myself and better the people in this world, better people around me, you know. And that's why I literally wanted to wait until it was the right time to really release music, learn all the stuff I need to learn in college. I did my EP just as like, and I did all the beats and everything, and I didn't engineer it, but I did it. I showed my parents. I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing, just so y'all know I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say one thing to them. I just showed them everything after it was done, because that's just the kind of guy that I try to like make myself. You understand? I try to hold myself someone like that. You know, you only hit up, you know what I'm saying, your assets, or you only ask advice. You only do the stuff that, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I wouldn't ask advice. I mean, it's a business, you know, but most of the stuff I'm trying to figure out by myself, because that's going to be the best way. I'll figure it out. And if I have kids that want to get into music, I won't have to tell them to ask their grandparents. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask your grandma. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's a mistake on that.
Was it a smooth transition, or either a difficult transition with being your own artist?
Like the only transition that I really had was when I was 16, I was just kind of like, I was really mostly producing, but I was kind of just hopping on verses here and there, like my friends and stuff, just trying stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, and I even went to DARP a couple of times, the old studio that my dad used to own, just to record a couple of things. And it was nothing that I was like, oh my God, I got to put this out. You know, I knew I was still finding myself as an artist in it, and I didn't have any issue with it. I didn't compare myself to other maybe celebrity kids and stuff and see what they're doing. Like, I didn't care. I was just like, I need to be the best Tron possible. So when I hit the scene, I need to make sure I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about, because what excuse wouldn't I have, you know what I'm saying, not to be this music mastermind if I'm coming from music anyways, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take that different approach. So when I was, like around the time I was like 19, my engineer, I did a song with him and his crew, and I did some little singy-ish kind of stuff. Like I say like Drake singing, where you're not like Whitney Houston in that shit, but you just kind of flowing with it. So like, you know what I'm saying? So then my engineer was like, bro, why don't you just do that more? Like, why don't you do more like vibey, singing kind of stuff like that? And I was like, bro, my mom's a fucking singer, and like I don't want to have to deal with people saying da 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 da. And he was like, bro, but like like that doesn't even exist. He's like, that's the world that you create. You could make it matter if you really want it to matter like that. He was just gonna say that anyways. You could be a rap, you could be, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's so true. I was like, I can't be living even for other people, thinking like, you know, if there's real potential there, I need to just go ahead and like see what I got. So I just kind of kept with that direction, kind of doing more of that kind of stuff. And then that's when I did my EP, because it was all vibe and I was so comfortable with that flow. And then after I got out of college, I was like, all right, time to go to the big boy studio. No more home studio. You know, you're in the big booth with the big boys and the you know, with the pressure you feel in the air and all that kind of stuff. And it's whatever, because it's like, you know, all right, I trained up for this moment. It's like military training. They shooting targets and all that stuff, and it's time for the field. It's time for the field. So, you know, I made that transition. I was like, all right, bet. And then I made I guess I made two transitions. I made the last transition. I was like, I'm more of a hype artist. Like, I feel like more of a hype guy. I can't be literally mosh pitting in an R&B kind of environment-ish kind. I mean, you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, anything goes, right? But like, you know, the kind of environment that I feel, I'm like, I need to emulate that with my music, so that I don't feel like I'm either doing something that I'm not loving as much or whatever. Because I know all that chill, laid back stuff, I could always go back to it, right? And so then that's when I was opening myself up to working with more producers, not my own beats, because I know what I like. You know what I'm saying? I need to hear something that I might not like, or I might have to like after hearing it a couple times. That's learning yourself. That's really true knowledge, is when you're trying to get outside your circle, get outside your element. So that whole 2018, I was just spending recording every week, recording, repeating. And I mean, I remember at one point, my dad actually had me and my engineer in the studio, literally I was doing this first. I did the same take of the same fucking line like 30 or 40 times, but it was about, he was trying to see how, you know, you can mentally break us. And I'm like, no, I spent so many hours. I mean, Full Sail make me record myself playing piano for 2 hours a day for hour credit. And if I don't do it, I fail the class. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I didn't get any special exceptions for being so-and-so or whatever. And I like it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what really got me into MMA. Because when we got on the mats, it was all about who had the better skill, not about what job you had or not about what career you had. Whoever's going to be the big bro in this situation is the person with all the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So that's, and I think, and so then, you know, and after that transition, I was like, I just kind of kept going more into this direction. So Arson, I say, is like a manifestation of all the years that I've, you know, been putting into music, obviously mixed in with the isolation of COVID and having to get creative with all that, like, you know what I mean? Because that's also a process too. Getting creative is not as easy as it normally would be, but it makes you get deeper into your mind to get those parts of your brain that you probably didn't have to use before, that you had to rely on scenery or maybe outfits or maybe, you know, glam, all this stuff, or maybe that money could buy. But, you know, now you got to kind of hit closer to home and really paint them visuals with a smaller budget in a smaller environment, a smaller box. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just happy that I've kind of was able to find myself as an artist prior, like a year prior to this happening, because now everything I release is not like, it's almost like I don't want to make 5 caption songs because I mean, what, you know what I'm saying? I want to make them cousins and I want to make distant relatives so that, you know, it's the same guy, but it's a lot of versatility there. And so that's what I'm in the middle of now. That's what like Arson and the next like few songs will just be until I actually release like an album. You know what I'm saying?
So what are the pros and cons with being in this type of industry? As you stated before, there are a lot of bad people. There are a lot of good people. So what are the obstacles that you had to overcome?
Man, bro. So like growing up, I had to already be weary of snakes when I was like 6. You know what I'm saying? Because people knew who Tron was in my elementary schools and all this kind of stuff. And I don't live my life based on who I am. So I live it every day based on how I really just am. You know what I'm saying? Not who my position is. I'll treat you with the same respect as I treat Beyonce, because everyone matters. Everyone has a position. It was like this dude Syndrome said in The Incredibles: if everyone's a superhero, no one would be a superhero. Like, you have to really respect every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? And so, so throughout my journey, what was the question again? Say it one more time. I was in the middle.
Oh no, you're good. So I was saying, with being in the industry, you have
pros
good people.
Cons.
Yep.
Yeah. So pretty much, bro. I'll start off with the pros. You know, because I feel like the cons can really drag on a little bit. So the pros, I would say, is, you know, you get to create, you get to see what it's like to start a song and go from start to finish. If someone like me who was working from home studios, and see, I couldn't even record, like I couldn't sing in front of nobody. I couldn't do none of that stuff until I really like got out of college, and I was just forced. It's like you just put them in there with the sharks. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Make it work. And so that was that was an obstacle, but it was like, once I got it down, I was like, bro, this is dope. Cause now I can create. I don't have to really be so self-conscious about my creativity. So, you know, you get to, I feel like every song is like it's almost like your baby. It's like a robot that you're building, you know, and you see every little aspect that goes into it. So it's like, I feel like people have a false perception of how even studio sessions look like. Everyone thinks it's a bunch of bitches and da-da-da-da, and maybe the music video is, but the creative process 9 times out of 10 is not. It's, you know what I'm saying? I don't usually have like a crew or anything, like, but it's usually just me and the engineer locked in there. You know what I'm saying? And no distractions. We put our phones down unless we're looking at it to write lyrics. You know what I mean? Or look up words if we have a creative block. You know, in the pros, also you get to work with a lot of people. You get to see many faces, and you get to pick a lot of brains. Obviously, when I went to music school, a lot of people want to work with me for very obvious reasons. And then, you know, that's already something within itself. So like, I'd say my personal cons are being that guy, you know, because I know that I'm a kindred spirit. I'm nice. I'm not an egotistical like jerk. Maybe other kids or whoever they might think, and especially once they get to know me. So then that leaves, in their opinion, room for vulnerability. But I'm very real. I'm like, I've had a lot of real world experiences too, a lot of non-public real world experiences, and just life, and just, you know what I'm saying, anything. And so I'm not dumb, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to kind of see people's like, you know, deception. I had to see people's like greed and stuff as like they think that they're doing something, and I know what's really happening, but I'm just kind of playing tag along for the process, and then I get to blow it up in their faces later or something, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And seeing like seeing like what creativity, what money does, and what the process of even music does, what decisions do, what when you have to make executive decisions. Like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many people I was more cool with until it really became like about like music, and I'm really got to get into my business, and you know what I'm saying. And like, I mean, and it's like, I ain't had like this one song, I was like, you know, we make the beat together, you know what I'm saying, I had dude on the feature and stuff. The dude got mad because I'm like, well, first of all, everyone didn't like him on the feature, and it didn't sound good. He had no other projects prior. So who am I to put him out? And they already don't like him because of a dumb feature. That could really mess up his career, right? But he's not thinking that deep. And see, I'm thinking that deep because I understand that tough love, like someone like Simon Cowell and all those kind of people who are just straight assholes, you got to really accept tough love. You're going to hear a lot more no's than yeses, because my parents did too. And I know I'm going to hear a lot more no's than yeses, even though I am who I am. The industry is the industry, to your point. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, at one point things can be going this way, and then things totally flip. That's why I support them to save money and stuff. That's why people don't get the whole, you know, when artists go this and this happens and people blow their money. Well, yeah, like most people don't have an education as to what it's like to go into the industry. They just see a contract with a bunch of zeros and they think everything's solved at that point. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much dark sides. I had to go through like 4, 5 different managers and stuff just to get a right fit, because again, it's like, if you go to the Grizzled Vets, they're not hungry. If you go to the Young Hungry Lions, they don't have enough connections. If you go to you got to find that middle in between. But still, there's not a lot of good, even people who are even good managers. Even like, if you realize that there's not a lot of people who care about your best interest amongst themselves most of the time, it makes you kind of think of the world a little bit differently. And you shouldn't look at it with a cold shoulder and just be like, oh, you know, F the world, all this kind of stuff. You just got to be smart about it. That's why I say that the industry is like, bruh, like, I can create something with somebody, something can pop off, and then now they feel entitled to getting paid each session or something like that. I'm like, bro, we were just sitting there creating. You're just saying that because I'm trying, and you think that I just have money growing out of my goddamn, you know what I'm saying, just like off trees and stuff. But I'm in it to win it. I'm not in it for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're trying to find pure creativity, you're trying to like find pure like art for people who just care about like the core, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I mean, business is business. I always keep that in mind. I don't let creativity go known without, hey, all right, by the way, now you understand it's gonna be split. So if we talking about this song gonna get published, it's just like my engineer helped me write Arson. I'm cutting him a percentage because he did it. It's not, and he's an engineer, so I don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's because I don't feel the need to be like that, and it's not because I come from where I come from. I think it's just genuine to show people that good business, there are good people, and that kind of stuff does go a long way. It's almost like how you can give a homeless man $20 and he might go spend it on crack or a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You know what you did. You shouldn't worry about what he has to do after that. Now, you did your part. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think the cons actually, it's like a lot of people are not on my level yet to where they had to witness it their whole life. And so, like, when I'm in studios and I'm moving the way I'm moving and stuff, I know how this stuff goes. You know what I'm saying? I try not to let any of my circle get big heads about it because I don't have a big head, you know? I'm like, I don't care about any of this stuff, no followers and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that's going to tear you down at the end of the day, make you less creative and less hungry. I've seen it happen to everybody, you know, to the best of the best. And it's like, and it's only because either people were too busy feeding their ego, they were too busy feeding their own and just sitting back at how much stuff that they did, and they can't realize that they need to still be hungry for more, you know, for those who still want to like be up in it, you know. And of course there's a good share of people who are still hungry, who still have all that drive, and you know what I'm saying? I can name countless names on that too, but you know, I still feel at the end of the day, even as someone who's grown up in it, there's no real way to even prepare someone for the industry besides be wary of people, you know, because the same people that you're working with can be the same person that stabbed you in the back years to come. You just don't know what's going to happen. You know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You don't know how life's going to turn out. Coronavirus is out. I've seen people move in desperation and things that you never probably thought they would do. You know what I'm saying? Businesses turning into different kind of businesses, you know, doing more illegal stuff, trying to pay rents every month and stuff. So like, you know, it sucks not being able to have so many friends and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, you know, because like after I got out of high school, I knew it was going to really start getting like chopped down, especially after college. Because, you know, after college, I mean, you just really out there. So like, I probably got a couple of my buddies I still talk to from them. But like, you know, at the same time, I always take everything with a grain of salt, because anyone who's in my profession, especially, I know it can always blow up back in my face because of any kind of reason. You know what I mean? And I don't want that to discourage people from getting into the industry. I want them just to realize that it's just not freaking cotton candies and rainbows, even for the people who are granted positions and stuff. I'm like, I can't buy your respect. I can't buy your likes. So I got to really work hard at building an independent fan base, because, you know, no one lives forever. Memories will be memories and time will go by. So like, you can't bank yourself off of being someone else's something or a son or this or whatever career you do. You got to really make a statement. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, but like I said, there's a lot of pros and cons. I just think that, like I said, being real, being true is going to get people. It's like being true, but also being like smart, because sometimes being all real and true doesn't work all the time, especially someone like LA. You always like, I mean, oh my goodness, I'll tell you this real quick. I was like in an LA meeting with just some labels and whatnot, right? And they had a few people that they were meeting with the labels and stuff. And one of the artists was just like, you know what I'm saying? They acting like this, you know what I'm saying? I'm from so-and-so, you know what I'm saying? We don't get down like that. And I'm like, but you're not there right now. You're here in their territory. So, you know, I'm like, you don't have to be that. You have to play your cards right and not lose, and not slip up in the process. Because it's just like how I spend, you know, an hour in the booth and Dallas is over there saying, oh, do the same line over and over, when I know I killed that line. That thing sounds great, but it's a testament of patience. It's a testament of will, of drive, you know? And so that's the kind of stuff that is a make or break at the end of the day. And that's why, like, if you see a lot of these grizzled vets or whatever, or even someone like a veteran such as my dad, he would put someone like young producers and artists in a harsh studio environment where he's trying to make it hard on us just to see, because if he doesn't do it, one day someone else might, and it might be worse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if my kids go into the industry, it's like how my mom could teach me all about, okay, I'll never get a bad deal. They bounced back from bankruptcy. Of course, I'm never going to be in a situation like that. I can take that knowledge and not be in that. But as far as my decisions and who I surround myself and who I work with and how I handle my money and all that kind of stuff, that's up to me. You know what I'm saying? And if I do that wrong, then that's just because I did it wrong, and I didn't listen, and I wasn't paying attention enough. You know what I mean?
So I know you had mentioned that you are hungry, determined, and dedicated. In the next 5 years, where do you want to be?
Man, next 5 years, I see myself definitely. I mean, of course, touring. Of course, I mean, that's only 5 years. I mean, I see myself in the game forever. So 5 years is not that much. I see myself. I mean, honestly, bro, I would say hopefully having my own label by that time. That's always been my biggest dream, having my own label, and honestly having a band as well. I could be a drummer. That'd be really dope too. And then also, man, this is a big one for me. And this was something that I've been like wanting since I was a kid, because I played a lot of Halo and a lot of like games that have really deep soundtracks. I want to be a music composer. I want to compose a soundtrack for a big Call of Duty or a big Halo, you know, Destiny kind of game that's like super shooters and, you know, orchestra. Because I grew up in the band, marching band, and, you know, in the church band and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I definitely wanted to have something where I was bringing a whole bunch of instruments together. Like, I've been to lots of orchestras in my life too. Like, my girlfriend and I went to this Home Alone one last December before all this stuff started happening. I mean, oh my God, I tear up and get goosebumps every time. You know what I mean? So I want to do that kind of stuff, man. I think that my artist journey is long. I think it's going to be fresh. I just think that it's the start of many things that I'll be doing throughout life. Kind of like Childish Gambino.
Amen to that. So what are your favorite memories with your dad as well as your mom? Because I know I saw one video where you're dancing with your mother, and then you do the producing and different things in the booth with your dad. So what is your favorite memories with both of them?
Oh man, let's see. I mean, well, my mom. See, like back when I was a kid, man, all my friends used to always come over here. Like we used to always like mom would always have like this was like the house, like fun house or whatever. So I had all like 10 of my buddies and stuff, and we had these insane sleepovers, and oh my gosh, it would just be like it would be so much fun. So I mean, any of like my like childhood summers, like I remember we had this one. I had like a birthday party where we spent the night at the Georgia Aquarium one time. It was like me and like 15 other family members and stuff, you know what I'm saying, like friends and stuff included. So that was a big one. All my like birthday parties, and then oh man, and one that's like that really goes under the rug, but I just like remember it was when I was 4 or 5, and I had a crowd sing "Happy Birthday" to me. I still remember it like faintly. So I thought I was gonna get a cat, and part of me was disappointed that I didn't get the cat, but I was just so damn happy that I had 6,000 people singing "Happy Birthday." I was just like, okay, cool. I don't care about the cat. And then man, over on dad's side, I would definitely say honestly more when I was in college, and then he had what's it called? He had pretty much set up like all the programs that I wanted and stuff for like producing. And so I remember we were spending all night just downloading like sounds and whatnot and just like getting into it because I had my way of producing, he probably has his way of producing. So like, techniques are shared and all that kind of stuff. And even when I work with like my other producers, because everyone works on different programs and stuff, it's like, you really get to like learn a lot from that person, and they get to learn a lot from you too, because everyone has a different or similar but different creative processes. You know what I mean? So I mean, any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Sure.
And the last question is, how has your faith molded you into the person that you are today?
You said, how's my faith moved me to the person I am today? Oh
Yes,
man,
sir.
bro. I mean, honestly, it's like when it came to even faith in the first place, it's like I had a lot of, I don't even want to say confusion, but a lot of like misconflict, because it's like when I'm seeing a lot of the faithful people, even around like my school environments, I'm like, especially like them like racist white folks and stuff, all entitled and whatnot. I'm like, bro, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? But with faith and what God taught me, it's like, you walk by faith based on, him and, you and him. It's a direct connection. It's not about just the church every Sunday. It's not about this being surrounded by people who are da-da-da-da. Everyone's a sinner. Everyone does pretty much the same stuff. We're all pretty terrible. But it's like, what you have to do when it comes to the actual faith part is create that direct connection to where you're not depending on anyone else to talk to God besides yourself, because in my journey, I would spend time asking God, how do I become myself? How do I become Tron? How do I become not Chili's son or not Dallas's son and really become a person and not, of course, be offended by any of that, because that's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? You can't be, I'm never mad where you come from, but, proving a statement is another anomaly. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard anomaly because, it's like how people, how like, they say like with Kylie Jenner being the first youngest billionaire, okay, she had $100 million to start with. I'm like, yeah, but if you put $100 million in a lot of other people's hands, they wouldn't have done what she did. So how about we just have some respect then? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I don't have to agree with anything, like everything, even that family or whatever, or any celebrity does in general. I just respect grind. I respect getting from one point to the next point, because you could have been selling drugs the whole time. You didn't. Whatever way you did, you didn't have to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a lot of dudes got locked up. I have like friends who are locked up. I have friends who got out of jail and get right back in and all this kind of stuff. And all these people are coming from good backgrounds and good faithful Christian backgrounds and all this kind of stuff. It's not about that. It's really just about more what the world is showing, what the devil does. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly, and of course in 2020, I think it's been the biggest like end of the world, what's going on, like kind of year. But like, I think we should just get kind of comfortable, because if anyone has any kind of faith, I mean, everyone knows what happens in the end of the book. I think that we are closer to the end of the days than not the end of days. Now, does that mean that I think it's going to be the end of the world in the next 100? No, I think maybe the next 100,000 years personally, because in the days could be, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what that's like on Earth time. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about planets and space and heaven and hell. And now we're talking all that kind of stuff. So we're talking about a whole different time loop. You know what I mean? But if I had to put it into words, yeah. If you're looking at the writing and you're paying attention to the signs, of course we're more in the end of days than not. You know what I mean? You just see what's going on with the government. You see what kind of people are in the office and stuff. It's like, come on. You think it's not, more kind of towards the end of days. You know what I'm saying? It's more like that. But you know, but at the end of the day, you can't be, you know, that can't shake you. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And I think that you should never, like, no one's journey is ever, like, everyone's journey is different, and they walk at separate paths, they walk in separate times and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, and for me, I've been, like I said, I was drumming for the church band and doing all that kind of stuff and doing that the whole time. But I mean, the time I really felt connected with God is when I was away from all the schools and all the, almost the pressure to be like this. I could still be Christian and still have tattoos and death metal all over me. And because I choose to, and it's my style, it has nothing to do with my faith. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and people get caught up in your image and stuff. I looked up at Gene Simmons is my biggest influence. And what is Gene Simmons? A bat blowing out fire. That's the first concert I went to when I was 6. And it took me the whole concert to figure out it was a whole bunch of 45-year-old men in makeup and boots. Dude, literally. As a matter of fact, that's my favorite memory with that, because my mom was so mad. He was like, why'd you take him to a Kiss concert? He's like, he needs to understand who these people are, because I was so obsessed with Kiss. I wanted Kiss everything. I'm like, paint my face like Gene Simmons. I want the Gene Simmons doll. I want the Gene Simmons outfit. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. But, and it didn't kill my dream or anything once I realized who they were, but it definitely made me realize that artists create imagery, and you create characters, and you create image through art. It's like this, oh my God, bro. If I could just give you a list or just tell you people who you probably would see in the media and you're like, oh my God, I could not imagine being around that dude. And I'm like, nah, bro. It's just when the cameras come on. Trust me on that one. You know what I'm saying? I'll never say anybody's names, because, you know, everyone is entitled to their image, and I would never want to do that. But there is a lot of people who are just not their true, you know what I'm saying, their natural selves. And even someone who came out more publicly about it, so I can say Katy Perry was one of those people. She's like, I just want to be Catherine sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be Catherine. I don't want to be Katy Perry all the time, whatever. Even someone like my mom, I feel like it was like, of course, her artist image is chilly, but she has to also be the mom, also have to be the daughter to our grandma, also have to be this, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really be able to find that. You know what I mean? You gotta really be able to find that and still be able to manage. Cause like, and, you know, and then it's like, for me, I create my artist image, and I still remember I'm still Tron 24/7 though. There is no different, like, I don't have to jump personalities. I know people who have to do it because they might not naturally have that. Like, I'm not naturally going to be chasing clout and talking shit to rappers. I just don't like to do that. I don't like to talk shit. Like, I know MMA, yeah, maybe I can kick most people's asses, but that makes me not want to do anything, because you realize how much stuff they teach you in there is just so terrible. Like, you don't want to put permanent damage on somebody through an argument. Someone would have to physically harm me to really get me to react like that, you know? And I train every day with UFC fighters most of the times. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that taught me to not be so aggressive and angry. That got me so much more humble. Even when it came tying in faith, like, you have to do things to exercise even your faith and exercise yourself. You have to figure out what makes you happy and what's your balance. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm a very high energy, high strung kind of guy, and kind of edgy at times. So it's like, I need to find my serenity. I need to be able to meditate. I need to be able to know that I can sit for 3 hours in the same spot without moving, and knowing that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Dedication. It's just a little stuff to just exercise your mind. Even in times like this, where it's just like you feel like all hope's lost. Like, no, I'm looking up what's something new I haven't learned today. You know, facts today. You know what I'm saying? Because this media stuff's not going to help it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything besides make you just hate the world more. My goodness, at one point, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it was just like, I was like, bro, because I live in the South too, because I knew this coronavirus stuff wasn't gonna get any better for us because we're just so stubborn down here. But I was like losing faith in humanity, but I'm like, but why would I ever have faith in humanity in the first place? Isn't that why God's here in the first place? Because
exactly, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to put faith in humanity, but that doesn't mean you quit on the world itself, because then you need to still become the best you possible. You can't let the world stop you from that. That's just like how I couldn't let stubborn and ignorant and arrogant Christians make me be like, oh, I don't know. No, that didn't make me not want to be a Christian. That made me not want to be around those kind of Christians or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how you can meet. We're black, but do we have to be around all black folks? And some black folks be tripping, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some black folks be tripping, bro. About that. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, goddamn, bro. Like, but that's the world, man. You know what I mean? And that's why I say, like, you know, you live your faith, you live your life based off of what the connections that you make spiritually, internally. It's not about what them other people are doing and stuff. Because I couldn't tell you how many times I even wanted to tell my mom when I was in school, but mom, my friend, but this, and she'd be like, never compare yourself to anybody else's situation, because it's not they're not losing sleep overnight of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They might be saying that about you. Like, you know, like, you know, you got to be happy with what you got and make that work and just keep going with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. It took me, but I'm talking to you as a 23-year-old, right? If you interviewed me when I was 18, it would be a totally different interview. If you interviewed me when I was 21 or 22, it would be a totally different interview, you know? That's why I love the beauty and process of life, because as your faith grows stronger, and hopefully it is for most people, and a lot of people, it's probably not because of whatever's going on. But I'm saying mental strength is a big thing in a situation like this. And people don't think that God puts tests on the earth, and this isn't really a test. I say everything's a test because it's a test of a real life simulation. This is not a game, you know? It's just like my friend was like, hey, bro, we got a party at the Lake Lanier going on Friday, so-and-so's birthday. It's going to be this, going to be that. You know, you and your girl come out. Of course I want to come out. Why wouldn't I want to come out? But I'm not going to come out, bro, because I know that this is risking my family. I'm not going to think for myself, you know what I'm saying, in these times. I'm going to think further than that. You know what I'm saying? I would never want to put my grandma in no corona, my mom in some corona business because I thought that it was cool to jump the gun and stuff. Man, and people look at me a little bit crazy for it because Atlanta really is kind of semi-open. They're like, we're going to Tongue and Groove, all the clubs, all this stuff. Because I know everybody there. They're like, oh, come on. But I'm like, listen, bro, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm being that guy. I'm like, you know, we got to do what we got to do. You know, even when my friends try to come to me and my girlfriend's apartment and stuff, I'm like, bro, hold up. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you tested at least a week before you even came, because it's like, I take this super seriously. I want to live life after this. I had a tour damn near booked. And so I want to get back to that. You know what I mean? I'm using this time to create as an artist as many songs possible, get my catalog straight. You know what I'm saying? This is a time for all of us to really grow in our careers. Granted, we already have our careers. People like you and me, we're already in our stuff. You can literally go into your element and just be the best you possible. That's what I'm trying to do, you know? Like, and then though Arson's out, I have a session at 6 today. I got to keep going. Like, if I don't keep going, that's where that drive starts slowing down. When you start paying attention to your numbers and you start thinking like, and when I start, you know, I feel even when I'm like popping, I'm on billboards and stuff, I been said, I don't care about that kind of like stuff. The numbers and shit don't really matter to me, bro, because I know a lot of artists who have not been on Billboard who are way better than Billboard artists in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of underground artists. And then it's like, even with my producers and stuff, my producers don't got no blue checks and all this clout and fame and stuff. They just upcoming, bro. And it's because they're upcoming that they're going to outshine a lot of people who may be currently popping right now. And if they're gonna stay around me, I'm definitely gonna keep teaching them the art of discipline and not to get satisfied. Yeah, that beat's dope, bro. Make me 20 more. You know what I'm saying? You hungry? I always tell people, send me a pack. You know, how hungry are you? Send me your packs. Send me your resume. You know what I'm saying? What have you done? You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff is important. I feel like my dad said internship is always important. My internship personally was college because they really had you slaving up in them Full Sail studios, really moving around equipment. I damn near broke my leg trying to move a damn light, bro. I was like, because this dude was speaking this nigga, he spoke Portuguese, and I was like, bro, on 3. He was like, oh yeah, if I'm ahead. I was like, no. I was like, on 3, bro. Like, he's like, oh okay, yeah, my friend. I'm like, no, it ain't my friend, bro. And then the light just fell on my leg, and of course I was infuriated because it wasn't part of my degree. It was core classes, but in those core classes, you got to learn all the little technical stuff. So like, I thought none of the stuff was gonna matter. I was in a studio a couple months ago. This nigga was trying to pull a fast one on me because I was going by the hour, trying to say they didn't have some specific plug or something like that. And I knew exactly what plug it was. I knew that every studio has to have it to function. And I pretty much called him out on this bullshit. I'm like, bro, I know what you're doing. You're capping right now. So go in the back, get that cord. And I say, if you don't come back with it, I know that it's cap. I'll go look for it myself, actually. And he's like, all right. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro, chill. And then he went and got it. But that's what I'm saying. If you're someone like me or anybody else, but I feel like someone like me, because people might think, oh, he's probably naive. Oh, he probably doesn't do this. They, oh, sheltered. Oh man, bro. If I could really say like really what goes on in life, really what goes on, it'd be a shocker. And I'm sure it'd be like that with anyone's family, any public eye situation. That's why social media is so fucking toxic to me, because you really don't know what's going on. Everything looks so perfect. It's like those botched up photos. Oh my God, my girlfriend really made me lose faith in Instagram and humanity, because all these damn models with the filters and all the different photoshops, and then you got the young girls that are like my cousins thinking that they have to live up to these kind of expectations, and that's not fair. You know, I didn't. And like it's like even when I was talking to some of these young cats, right? They talking about, oh man, it's so hard being a 13-year-old in 2020. What the fuck, bro? What you even got no bills, bro? What you talking about? Like, how's this? But like, I'm like, when I was 13, there were no big Yeezy hype beasts, vaping, all this stuff, like all this like designing and Instagram, and your artist is right there in front of you. Yeah, you looking at Uzi Vert, putting up, you know what I'm saying, Instagram lives. All that stuff wasn't around when I was 13. So like I'm giving advice to these kids, and I'm going off of a 90s perspective. I can only imagine how my parents probably feel about this stuff and how I'm gonna feel when they get older. But I'm like, this whole new world, all this kind of stuff is not supposed to shake us at the end of the day either. You got to adapt accordingly, just like the COVID stuff, just like how we've been talking about, you know what I mean? Raising the youth. Yeah, it's like you said, there's no faith in humanity. We have faith in God. So God has to lead humanity, and we're a part of humanity. We got to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Now, I definitely appreciate you for being on the show, man. You gave me some enlightenment about the industry. Of course, I've been in the industry myself, so I get where you're coming from, where everybody put on a persona.
Oh, yeah. Man, bro. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Them LA parties, bro. What? Oh, my God. How many business cards later, and I'm this and this is guy and all that. I'm like, oh, my God. You know what's funny real quick, bro? And I'm going to say this real quick. Fellas, okay. I have something to say about my fellas, bro. We always want to say girls with their thoughts and they clout chasing. Fellas, niggas, we are the biggest clout chasing like dick riders I've ever seen. I always feel like this. I always hear about dudes saying, yo, I'm so-and-so dude. I'm so-and-so guy. I'm so-and-so guy. I'm like, man, if I hear one more so-and-so, I'm sorry, you froze up a little bit right there. You good?
Yeah. No, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, no, so I'm like, if I hear one more dude talking about they so-and-so's homeboy, they thugs boy, they this, I know Breezy, I know this, I'm sick of it, bro. What do you do? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, because at least these girls out here, they at least have enough pride to not ride the coattail that hard. So I always be like, I just be making a joke about it. It's nothing like too, like, you know what I'm saying, heavy-hearted, but I'd be like, bro, like when we talk about this LA stuff and some of this industry stuff, I'm like, man, these dudes out here really be like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Put me on, bro. I'm so-and-so, like that stuff be so real. And you know what? It's like for me, I always be posting my friends. I'm always making sure that, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they always say, bring up the ones around you and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? But what I'm not gonna do is just, people coming up to me and just being like, oh yeah, do this. Like I only do stuff I actually care about folks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how and that heavy that heaviness plays off of me being so nice up front, is that the realistic part of me is really not that nice. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that I have to have a nice demeanor, because I can't be Simon Cowell to everybody. I can't just be like, hey man, you suck. You know what I'm saying? Even if the music, like, I've had to let down artists, and I don't want them to just hate me, because I'm not because like I always say in the artist world, this is the last thing I'll say, we depend heavier on the fans. If I'm fucking Iron Man, I'm Iron Man, bro. I don't need to sign your autograph, and I don't need to care about what you think of me, because there's a million other people in this movie, and there's a million other actors in this film. It's a whole big thing. But as an artist, you could tell your Aunt Sally that you just met Tron and he was the biggest douchebag in the world, and my percentage on sales might go down. And based off of just one person's comment. And people don't think that deep, because they're like, oh, I got 1 million streams all around the world. Man, it's just like how every penny counts, every stream, every fan counts for an artist. You don't know what that fan can do. My mom one time was like almost locked out of a flight, lady that worked at Delta. You know what? 11 years ago, you stopped what you were doing to take a picture with me. I'm gonna put you on this flight, first class, and make it work. You make it work. They made it work. 11 years later, what would you know? And had she been a douchebag, that wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, seeing my mom never say no, bro, I'm telling you, she hasn't said no to this day, unless it was a like emergency, or we were eating and she goes, wait till I'm done eating, please. Even ask please. I'd be like, bro, fuck off, I'm trying to eat. But it's like, you gotta get that though. You gotta get that. As I remember, I was telling my mom, like, Mom, I don't know if I'm gonna be a celebrity one day, but if I do, I want these people always come up to me and all this kind of stuff. She was like, what you mean you don't want these people coming up to you and stuff? She's like, you can't control that. You gotta just be nice, and then it'd be so annoying. I'd be like, man, I'm just ready to eat this damn food, and just I'm like, damn it. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? But seeing how happy they were after they get their damn picture or their damn autograph, I was like, yeah, I mean, because they might never ever get this opportunity again. So I might be killing this extra 5 minutes waiting at Prime. I wish Prime was still around in Linux, man. That was a great spot. I was like, I'm still waiting around here, but that 5 minutes later, I'll still get to eat, and that family gets to go home and enjoy and probably tell everyone that they know they're so happy. You know what I'm saying? That is exactly the type of artist that I wanted to make myself based off of. So anytime I was even approached, and I've been approached stuff, I always create the environment to be welcoming and hey, man, you want a picture, man? You want to shout it? You want to on Instagram, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, because these are the backbones of our career, And at a time like this, I think it's even more important. That's why I started streaming. I started getting more into like anything that I can connect with people more. I'm starting a podcast soon. In the next month, I'm doing a podcast, and that'll be a weekly thing too, just to keep, people aren't gonna always like your music. They're not gonna always whatever, but they can definitely like you as a person and grow with you as a person as well. And we get the opportunity to really put our personalities on display in this particular generation that my mom's generation did not get to do. I was like, Mom, I know y'all didn't have. It's like, man, you heard from us when y'all heard from us, and you did it when you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you get to turn on MTV, whatever the video channel was gonna be. There was no YouTube, so I look at it and I'm like, well, I'm blessed to be able to do this kind of stuff. Yes, there's 1,000 more artists than there were before and a lot more stuff. And it seems a lot more impossible to be in the industry unless you have a connection. But it's a lot easier because there's a lot more opportunities and a lot more people looking. And the world is at the palm of our hands. You know what I'm saying? We can message anyone we want to and they might hit back. You know what I'm saying? You might put a comment. They might reply. Like, it's just the little stuff like that being an artist is supposed to be, really being that true role model. So, it just comes with the territory too, bro. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the territory. You're from the industry. You understand my perspective too. Yes. It's just like, and once you're in a position, you can't give up your position. You work hard to get there. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta play tough. You gotta keep a heavy image around here. And that's why I say any people who are gonna watch this and listen to this, and they really want to be in any of our kind of industries, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's your side or my side, it doesn't matter. It's crazy, but you have to be able to have the tough skin and the humbleness to get through it and be like, it doesn't matter what they throw at me. I'm gonna get through it because I'm gonna get through it. God's gonna get me through it. You know what I'm saying? And whatever they have to cling to is God, is Buddha. You know what I'm saying? It's Allah, whatever religion. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, man. I just like whatever that is that your niche is that makes you go. You got to cling to that in this industry because this isn't one of those things where it's just a fixated schedule. My schedule is different every day. I had nothing going on last week, and now I have 4 interviews today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that kind of thing. And I at first was very, very, like, it's so frustrating. And I was thinking things were going to be able to be done by this time and deadlines and stuff, bro. I sit back like this. And I let my team, you know what I'm saying? My team, they're going to come at me and they're going to let me know what's going on. And I act accordingly. I do my job. You know what I'm saying? People don't take a lot of our jobs seriously, but they're really serious jobs, because we have to do the odd jobs that require different kind of preparation. You got to be a good host. You know what I'm saying? You can get heat for not being a good host. They're not just looking at me the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a like a playoff kind of thing. And that's why I always make sure, like, even my interviews, I get great relationships with my interviewers because I'm like, we're helping each other here. You know what I'm saying? We're contributing to each other's career because we're both going to be able to say that I was interviewed by you and you got to interview me one day to our kids. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, bro. The circle of life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Amen to that. So, anyways, it's been a very blessing and humbling experience with talking with you. I definitely look forward to your album and definitely keep in touch with me, my friend.
For sure, bro. I was gonna say if you have my Instagram, just hit me up like DMs or something. We follow each other. That's what I usually be like. That's what I've been doing as of recently because usually that's like the best way to get to me. I'm like,
matter of fact, you on Instagram right now?
Yeah. Yep. Let me go ahead and get you Instagram.
All right. Super Journalist 87.
Super
Journalist.
87.
Yep.
Right here. All right, bet.
Yeah.
Got you right there.
Yes, all right, appreciate it.
Keep in touch, bro.
All right. Sure. Oh yeah, definitely, man. All right, now definitely have a blessed one.
Stay safe out there. Yes, sir.
All right, you too. All right, now.
All right.
All right.